This beautiful fishwoman would do anything to save her man. Too bad all he wants is to end her unnatural life. But they find a common enemy when they uncover a conspiracy so deep it involves the Chinese emperor himself. When they decide to join forces, he finds the only way to protect his new ally is to pay with his own life. General Zhang Chen still remembers the day he watched the monster take his wife. He tried to stop it, but his efforts were useless, and he was soon impaled by the evil Ming. He now wakes in a cold sweat from the horrible memory. As leader of Fog Island's navy, he searches for the mermaid he believes was responsible. He prepares his crew to attack, but they can't see anything in the water. He decides to dive in himself, emerging from another surface on the other side. As the mermaid appears before him, her scales float away to reveal a human form. Zheng accuses her of taking his family and framing him for their attack. But as he tries to get revenge, she summons a portal made of red fish. He later wakes on the beach holding a red shell. He goes to the prefectural governor, telling him this shell belongs to a red monster currently kept at the sea prison. While the governor worries that Zheng only wants to search the prison because it's run by Zheng's longtime rival Ming, he reluctantly grants Zheng permission to perform a search. Zheng will soon learn the governor has his own reasons for wanting Zheng kept away from the prison. As Zheng arrives at the prison, he sees a man being tortured and poisoned by Ming and his henchman, Little Yazi. When Zheng tells Ming he believes an imprisoned monster has escaped, Ming is offended that a man who can't catch one mermaid would accuse him of poorly guarding the prison, but he orders Little Yazi to aid Zheng in his search. Yazi leads them past caged officials who've been turned into sea creatures, but the only one Zheng wants to see is the red monster. He enters its cage and begins to inspect it, learning from Yazi that the man was an enchanter, put under a curse by the Tianxi mansion. Zheng sends his staff officer to visit Tianxi and ask their priest to visit Fog Island. But she wonders if this is part of the mermaid scheme. The centennial ancestral worship of the Chen family is only days away. As Zheng's family has long fought with the mermaids, she believes the mermaid is using Zheng's rivalry with Ming to seek revenge by disrupting the ceremony. She asks what happened the day he encountered the mermaid. Meanwhile, Ming angrily breaks a cup, but it repairs itself and transforms into mermaid tamer Yu Gu. In a flashback, we see Zheng waking up in a beautiful hut and finding the mermaid on the beach outside. She tells him she's taken him to Fantasy Island for safety. She starts to explain that she didn't take his family and that the red shells don't grow in the sea at all, but they're attacked by Yu Gu. It's an evenly matched fight, but it's ended quickly when the mermaid summons a portal and brings Zheng through it. In the present, Zheng explains to his staff officer that he might not have survived if the mermaid didn't want him to. Ming, meanwhile, asks Yu Gu how he's alive, believing mermaid tamers were exterminated by the Chen family. Yu Gu says he was the only survivor, and now seeks revenge. He tells a different story of what happened on Fantasy Island, saying that the mermaid has put Zheng under a spell to convince him that Ming was responsible for the loss of Zheng's family. He tells Ming that mermaids will use the conflict between Zheng's navy and Ming's prison guard to destroy them all. Regardless of whether he's telling the truth, it won't be long before this conflict reaches its peak. Zheng soon encounters the mermaid again, but this time, he offers his lance and says he'll give his life if she wants revenge on his family for destroying her people. She explains that she once hated his family until she met Zheng as a child. She knows he saw her, yet didn't tell his family. She's watched him ever since, and she saw how his wife was taken. Before she can say more, they're attacked by Ming and Yu Gu. Zheng tips the boat to get her in the water and tries to fight off their attackers. She starts to help, but he warns her to stay safe or else the truth will never be revealed. When Yu Gu beats Zheng into the water, the mermaid lifts the boat high into the air before dropping it. Zheng crawls onto one of Ming's boats, but Ming and Yu Gu follow suit and manage to capture him. They bring Zheng to the governor and accuse him of conspiring with the mermaid in the attack that took his family. The governor believes me and tells Zheng he's forsaken his ancestors by betraying their long-fought war against the mermaids. Zheng is strung up by the sea and tortured, suffocating to the point of unconsciousness. But Ming's lies still leave one question. How does the red monster fit into this? Shortly after Zheng wakes up, a group of men rush him and stab him repeatedly while the guards simply ignore it. But a portal soon forms, and they're stopped by the mermaid in full fish form. She brings Zheng back to Fantasy Island and uses her magic to draw darkness from his wounds. When he wakes, his wounds are completely gone, and the mermaid has taken them on herself. Zheng accuses her of enchanting him and binds her forehead with dragon-taming chains. Ming and Yu arrive, noting that the mermaid seems to truly care for Zheng. While Zheng isn't happy about seeing the mermaid in pain, he's brought to the beach and shown his staff officer's hand buried in the shore. When a red shell is found enclosed in her fist, Ming accuses Zheng of taking her out for learning that Zheng and the mermaid were working together. If found guilty, he won't be allowed to preside over the Chen clan's ancestral ceremony. But when Zheng informs the governor he's caught the mermaid, the sleepy governor simply tells Zheng to check the preparations for the upcoming ceremony. It's clear Zheng will attend the ceremony after all, but that doesn't mean he's been found innocent. At the ceremonial hall, the governor asks Zheng why the mermaid keeps saving him. He warns Zheng that if he lies, his family's imperial plaque will be confiscated, and the family name dishonored. Zheng admits that he saw the mermaid as a young boy and decided not to tell his family about her. Meanwhile, Yu meets with Ming. Through Yu and the governor, Ming and Zheng both learn why the Chen family are such famed mermaid hunters. Mermaids have a special heart scale that only the Chen's lances can penetrate. Fog Island used to belong to the mermaids, until the aging emperor learned that mermaid tears could restore his youthful face. The Chens weren't honored for being heroes, but merely for keeping the emperor's secret. Ming poisons Yu, saying the mermaid tamers never should have existed. The governor, meanwhile, orders Zheng to bring him the mermaid's tears. Zheng finds her at the sea prison and aims his lance at her heart scale. Although heartbroken, she doesn't try to stop him. But when Ming enters and urges him on, Zheng attacks Ming and says he knows the real culprit behind his family's demise. He shows the governor the red shell, saying it can only be found on the red monster and that Ming has been behind things all along. The governor orders Ming's arrest and interrogation, but he tells Zheng that he still wants the tears, whether the mermaid is guilty or not. Zheng won't find a way out of this that doesn't involve getting those tears. Ming tells the governor that Zheng will likely free the mermaid, but that's part of the governor's plan. The more deeply she feels for Zheng, the more likely she is to release her tears. Zheng frees the mermaid from her chains and carries her to the water, where she regains her strength. Summoning a portal, she offers Zheng a choice. He can escape to Fantasy Island, or she can stay and help him fight Ming. But Zheng doesn't want to fight, and instead takes the portal to the Chen ceremonial hall. They enter, only to be ambushed by Ming's guards. Ming threatens the surviving members of the Chen family. When he takes one of their lives, the Chen steward tells Zheng not to fight back, as siding with the mermaid will ruin his family's legacy. As the entire family begs Zheng to surrender, he tells them their family legacy was a lie, and that mermaids were never the enemy. But the steward doesn't care, and feels the family name must be honored in spite of the emperor's lies. The Chens attack the mermaid, as Ming impales an innocent girl. Zheng attacks Ming and disarms him, as the Chens drag the mermaid by her hair. She gets free and threatens to strangle one of her attackers, just as Zheng prepares to stab Ming. The mermaid's victim says her attack is proof that mermaids can't be trusted, and the steward begs Zheng to let Ming live. Ming tests Zheng's morals by telling him that taking his life and the governor's could give the whole island to the Chens. But Zheng decides to let him live. But whether Zheng realizes it or not, the Chen legacy is already on the path to destruction. When the governor arrives, Zheng stops the mermaid from attacking. He says he'll take the blame for all crimes she's been accused of. Ming uses Zheng's lance to vandalize the Chen shrine, then orders the mermaid to again put on the dragon-taming chains. As she does so, she tells Zheng that mermaids can only shed tears once before losing their human form forever, but losing him is the only way to save him. She begins to weep, her tears dropping like rain. Zheng is given back his family's imperial plaque, but he's heartbroken over what it took. He gains hope when he sees a portal, but it quickly disappears. As he mourns the mermaid's sacrifice, he's hit by Ming's arrow. The mermaid awakens in fish form and escapes the sea prison as Ming grabs the plaque and slices it in half, only to see the mermaid on the other side. She fights off Ming before trying to wake Zheng, but he's gone. She viciously attacks Ming and prepares to take his life when the governor appears and tells her that the Chens will be punished if she does. But she doesn't listen, impaling Ming on the wall. However, it's revealed that she's been fighting Yu the entire time. He survived Ming's poisoning, then destroyed Ming and took his place. And there's still one more deception left to be revealed. The mermaid brings Zheng to the beach, howling as she tries to wake him up. She decides to take his wounds like before, painfully recalling their memories together as her scales turn gray and float away into nothingness, leaving her heart scale behind in Zheng's chest. As the governor opens his box of mermaid tears, a furious Zheng enters through a portal. The governor pretends to beg for mercy before trying to stab Zheng, but his heart scale sends the governor flying across the room. Laughing, the governor reveals himself to be the Red Monster. He took Zheng's family as a plot to frame Zheng and gain power, with Yu acting as his apprentice. Zheng throws his lance, but the monster dodges it and they begin fighting. The monster is stronger, but Zheng's heart scale keeps him from suffering any fatal blows. Finally, Zheng gets his lance back and impales the governor, turning him to dust. Zheng later honors his family, although no longer supports their legacy as mermaid hunters. As he leaves the island for good, the mermaid tears form a portal to take him to new lands. Click one of the videos on screen right now.